dice. The people stood there watching, but the rulers were making sarcastic remarks. They said, "He saved others. If he's the Messiah that God has chosen, let him save himself." The soldiers also made fun of him. They would go up to him, offer him some vinegar, and say, "If you're the king of the Hebrews, save yourself." A written notice was placed above him. It said, "This is the king of the Hebrews." One of the criminals hanging there insulted Jesus by saying, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Well, save yourself and us." The other criminal scolded him, "Don't you fear God at all? Can't you see that you're condemned in the same way that he is? Our punishment is fair. We're getting what we deserve, but this man hasn't done anything wrong." And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you enter your kingdom." And Jesus said to him, "I can guarantee this truth. Today you will be with me in paradise." It's the gospel of our Lord, and together we say, "Praise to you, O Christ." Let us pray. God most holy, God most loving, we thank you for Jesus, our unique King. May we see him in the glory of his saving grace, love him as the hope of our lives, and serve him as that loving brother who alone can change the alienation and aggression of the world and bring us to that wondrous reconciliation where no one is forgotten and no soul excluded. In his name and to your eternal praise, we so pray. Lord, hear our prayer. Amen. Please be seated. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from God our Father and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. In Jeremiah, we hear some interesting comparisons of people to sheep. Again, not that we haven't heard this in preaching in years past, but it's calling out what's happening with the people who are supposedly helping us. Those people who are supposed to look out for us, keep us together, teach us, shield us. As we know the ancient story, the Hebrew people went away to exile. And we talked before that happened because the leadership in Judah and Israel imploded. The leaders were self-serving, self-centered. They didn't look out for other people. And much of the people in the countries had turned inwardly themselves. So the support system for each other as community of being grace and mercy-filled and doing the right thing had eroded. Life had taken a turn for the worse. So as the people come back, the prophet speaking for God is saying, don't worry. There is more that's going to happen that's going to lift things up. God has not run away from anything. God is going to provide. And so we hear the reference to the righteous branch, right? The branch that became Christ. But in that, this morning, the prophet is speaking for God, says, woe to those who blow society apart. Woe to those who are misleading my people. Woe to those who take people astray. Now that happens in every generation. And when it happens, it's when people don't listen to God and for God and let God be God. Instead, people get on their high horse and think that they know what God wants, as opposed to letting God speak to their hearts. And we can see this in every generation. And hearts become hardened, to the point of what we see going on the cross in the gospel for today. The gospel that we normally hear during the Lenten season. But as we end the church year today on Christ the King, we consider all who God is for us throughout the long arc of the story of the Bible. And so that criminal who is at one side of Christ is still mocking him even in the throes of death. He's become so rooted in the negative that he has built for himself as a framework can't let God in. He can't open himself up to the possibilities that is more than what this world tells him is real. And so he says, save yourself. Do something. Because he can't see what's happening in the present, and he can't look to the future. Yet the other criminal says, don't you understand what's happening here? Don't you see that God is breaking in? And Jesus tells him, you understand it, you get it. You will be with me in that next place that is set aside for all of you. When I do memorial services and funerals, usually part of the preaching at that time is using the Gospel of John, where Jesus is talking about, there are many dwelling places that I have set aside for you. And if I set aside for you, you know where to go. But Thomas says, how do we know where to go, Jesus? And Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Everyone who comes to the Father comes through me. That statement in that gospel is God telling us not to fear what is to come, because God has prepared for us all that we need. And Jesus, in his coming, tried to help us prepare to understand that what we see in this world can be a veil pulled over our eyes so many times, because there are so many ways in which the world ignores God and lives to itself, to the exclusion of others, and to grace and mercy, which is exactly what brought down the kingdoms of Judah and Israel. And it brought down every kingdom and municipality and nation over time. Those who can't look outward to all of us being part of something larger than what this world seems to tell us, lose sight of what can make us stronger. Christ came as the unlikely king, the one who didn't come to exude power over others and wield it like a weapon. He came to show love as a leveling factor. Grace and mercy is something that meets us every day, which we all need, because we all are sorely falling short of the glory of the kingdom and the attention of God. Which is why God meets us every day where we are, to give us what we need, to love us back into wholeness and hopefulness. Jesus dying on that cross proves how God will never be overcome by what the world can create as its facade, but that the love of God and the resurrected Christ shows how God prevails with us and through us against all odds. The King, who doesn't wield power like a weapon, but shares love and grace and permeates all of creation. But all we have to do to know is to open our hearts and let it in. May this King of glory continue to come in. And as we wind down the church here today, prepare for the expectation of the birth, may we think a bit about where God is for us. May we take a step back and prepare to revel in the mystery of the one who created everything, but is here now. The one who holds everything together, but cares for each one of us intimately. The King of glory who has come in and wants to live in our hearts through faith. May we trust in this love that never lets us go and persists to meet us. And may we let the Spirit persist in working through us for the sake of others. In Christ's holy name we pray this